So I'm going to read some stuff from Boulder Rights Watch. This one is from a man named Michael Raposo. There's a name in here that you are going to be familiar with if you've followed what's been going on with me. This is the officer who assaulted me in Longmont at the hospital for trying to turn in police officers and trying to make a report about the threats against my life. Michael Raposo writes, I attempted to file 2 restraining orders in the past on officers Marquez and Burke. The local judge denied me even with new information the second time. He said go through internal affairs. Who is he to tell me to take up a chain that is also protecting them? IA saw numerous footage of mine and didn't find a problem. I've only been charged with dog at large after receiving multiple of detainments for nothing. The task force is paid goons dubbed the Neighborhood Impact Team. I'll bet majority of homeless never meet a regular patrolman and encounter SWAT at every turn. Pig Scumlord uses the utmost intimidation in his practices. Remember when a SWAT cruiser hit a person crossing in front of the Fox last year and tried to charge him with drunk in public? The cops hit a pedestrian and covered it up because they threatened to charge him. So, yeah, this is actual police work. This isn't the only one. Here's a woman who is harassed. This is Kelly Henson. This is not even close to the worst shit that we go through. Hers is actually very trivial, but she admits it. She types, so BPD at its finest. Again, while my story is minimal by comparison to recent events, I want to share it as yet another record of the intimidation and profiling that continues. Let me start by describing the participants, 2 females, myself included, 1 black man and 1 Hispanic. We were sitting in front of a store. We were not sitting on blankets, not even 1 backpack between us. A friend of my friends had passed, and we were commiserating and telling jokes and simply doing what any normal party of 4 people might be doing. A cop rolled through. Let me find this. A cop rolled through once, and we took notice, as people on the streets always do, but because we weren't being loud or, in any sense, committing any crime, we continued to carry on. A half an hour later, same police officer comes up, lights ablaze. He asks for our IDs. I believe this is not allowed unless there is probable cause. From my point of view, there was no probable cause. No trash, no liquor, no fighting. Nothing. We complied. No one got tickets. No one got arrested. The officer said he had run into the owner of the store we were in front of a couple of blocks away and asked him to handle it. Really? We had never been asked to move by anyone, and even if the supposed owner had felt somewhat intimidated and had requested police assistance, mind you, there was not even movement in the store, and, as far as I have seen, never has been. There was no need for the fanfare. In any case, another officer comes up, lights ablaze, and, finally, a sheriff. A bystander may have perceived some great crime had been committed. 3 cars for 4 people just sitting and talking in front of a store at about 8 p.m. As a note, a citizen did come by and start taking notes. Thank you for seeing and recording the injustice. Michael Raposo comment on this. There's a few other people that it's important to note in here too. As far as Boulder Rights Watch goes, I'm going to actually go to the actual site instead of just what's been presented to me. Because this is stuff that pops up on my news feed. Alright, Boulder Rights Watch. Here's one from Darren O'Connor, who I am still pissed at. Says, reducing homelessness is impossible without ending mass incarceration. That's, our broken criminal justice system treats poverty as if it were a crime. It's not. What's worse, poverty traps many in our justice system because some prisons don't provide necessary programs to help those who are incarcerated heal and successfully reintegrate back into their communities upon release. Well, that's because it's good money to have them come back in. And because they're broke and homeless when they get released, it's easy to pick them up again. Police Oversight Task Force, first meeting. Now, fuck those dudes. I've reviewed a lot of information on the Boulder Police Task Force, the Oversight Committee, and it's a fucking joke. Darren O'Connor, he's about the closest to a responsible human being that they can put on the force. However, he picks and chooses too. Instead of focusing on the homeless issue, knowing it's a homeless issue, he focuses on the race issue. That's pathetic. Now, I recorded a conversation between him and I that is on my YouTube channel here. And in that conversation, he admits that it's harassment against the homeless. It's not harassment against minorities. Now, minorities, that harassment does exist. However, in Boulder, they're inclusive unless you're homeless, in which case they are exclusive. Here it says 233 homeless people died in Metro Denver in 2018. That's a record number, by the way. And that also is a very doctored number because a lot more than that died. Here's another one. 18 in Boulder. Just the way to Downtown Boulder Partnership and the Downtown Denver Partnership won it. Let's see. Here's one from Evan Ravitz. It's Officer Lolatai. Imagine that. The same officer who assaulted me. He's in a jail. He slams a man down. And then you see other officers responding. And they're not responding to Lolatai breaking the law and assaulting a man. They're going at it to assault that man as well. Here's another one. Oh, damn. Another one. Lolatai shoving a woman to the ground. That's fucking pathetic. There's a lot of stuff in here. Boulder police and services continue to target people experiencing homelessness well after this report was delivered to the Human Relations Commission. We got to do something about this, folks. But you guys want to turn a blind eye. Sammy Leon Lawrence IV is a regular contributor to this, by the way. He's not the only one. Alright, here's one from an asshole. It says, how long until someone runs on the platform of food stamps for all? If healthcare is a right, is food as well? And a woman replied, yes, eating is a human right, you incredible loon. I like this woman. Human rights. You have the right to eat. But it's not your land. It's everybody else's. It's the rich people's land. It's disgusting. Alright, here's one from me. Rod Me, this is the name of, or the Facebook name of Michelle Rodriguez. I typed, to those who say I ain't doing anything to help myself, I have spent thousands of dollars to go to court, spent hundreds of hours collecting evidence, spent hundreds of hours on the phone, spent hundreds of hours traveling, spent hundreds of hours jumping through other people's hoops to get help they promised but never delivered. I have spent hundreds of hours speaking out. I have spent hundreds of hours trying to help and coordinate it with other victims. I have spent hundreds of hours trying to get the media to listen. I have spent hundreds of hours between making appointments to go to therapy, going to therapy, and trying to coordinate with therapists and caseworkers. I have spent hundreds of hours trying to find a way to force the police and Bollingers into the courtroom to answer for their crimes. They and their friends spent a lot of time destroying my life before Natalie died. They spent a lot more time and got a lot more help after, while I got pretty words, empty promises, and got everyone else's problems dumped on me. Rodney wrote back, plain and simple, Sean Schwartz, they know what they say. Or they know not what they say. Therefore, they should reserve comment. Much love for you and your plight. You never should have been treated the way you have. Prayers for you at all times. Thank you, Michelle Rodriguez. Here's one from Jeannie Fox. That's the wife of John Fox. It says, I wrote this a year ago, but I feel it still applies and will always apply until the homeless are treated as human beings. To the government of this country, the homeless in this country won't go away because you pay shelters millions of dollars to give them a sandwich, a bottle of water, and a cot with a blanket for the night. These are human beings. They need real help, not a bandage. See, these people are saying the same things as I am. Not a false sense of hope. If you had to live like they do, you might actually understand. See, I say that a lot, except I push it. I told my dad I hope his house burns down and his insurance lapses so that he knows what it is that he's turning a blind eye to. He pretended like I was saying I wanted him dead. What a fucking bastard. Let me continue what Jeannie Fox wrote. So I invite everyone from town officials to the President of the United States to take the homeless challenge. Spend 1 year with no insurance, no money except what you make on the street, no housing, only the clothes you can carry in a duffel bag or a backpack, only your essentials such as your ID. I bet you will finally get a clue as to what humanity really is. What if it was someone you knew personally, or someone you friended on the street that froze to death overnight because they couldn't get into a shelter when it got too cold? That's why I passed out blankets for 7 years, you son of a bitches. Let me get back to this, though. What if they got mugged or murdered? How would you feel if people looked down their noses at you because you didn't have anything more than what you could carry on your back? What if they simply looked down on you because they thought they were better than you? What if someone you knew or loved had real medical issues that required a doctor and they can't get a medical card? What if you did something when you were younger and actually learned from it, or were just hanging out with the wrong crowd of people at the wrong time and it resulted in you getting a conviction that followed you for the rest of your life, preventing you from getting your basic needs met? No housing, no food stamps, no medical help. You wouldn't be able to live that way, let alone live with yourself, if you let someone else you love live like that. We the people are demanding that our government help us the people. Yes, the homeless are people too. It is time we the people are heard. Hey Trump, you say you want to make America great again. Start with making your own people great again. Help those who are down on their luck and show us why this country is supposedly the best country in the world. Meet the needs of the people by helping them, not taking away their rights. Don't take away guns. Don't take away funding for education. Don't take away free medical cards for the homeless and prevent them from getting housing. What does this great country come to when it has lost its sense of humanity? We are not the greatest country in the world. We used to be. Hell, we can be again. But instead of mass population control measures, the government should help the people, help them. You would be surprised at how far an act of kindness will take you in this world. And by God, it's about high time our government treats us with respect, lifting us up as human beings instead of treating us all like a bunch of sheep being herded in for the slaughter. Make your voices heard this day, America. Share the hell out of this. Jeannie Fox, 3/29/2018. I've been fighting this battle for a lot of years while people pretty people like Natalie Bollinger, she idolized homelessness for a time. Believed it to be some great mighty thing that it's not. She got into drugs. I did not. She got into heroin and meth. I did not. She got into dating assholes who were addicts and dealers. I did not. Her father got her started into this. Her very own father, Ted Bollinger, had her and her sister selling drugs down at the library in Boulder, Colorado. Meanwhile, while they were selling harsh drugs down there, Janine Barrett, Derek Parrish, and Joanna Taylor were all arrested for selling marijuana. Kind of funny, isn't it? The police turn a blind eye to meth that really has become a major issue since 2003. Methamphetamines and heroin. Yet they can continue to go out of their way to harass people over marijuana. That's pathetic.